like do something that's like biblical, like in the Bible,
like miracles, you mean?
Yeah, like miracles, or
yeah,
have like another Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ brother.
You know, you don't see very much of that because America is not really a Christian nation anymore. There's so many people that
America was never a Christian nation.
Well, it was, yeah. It was founded as a Christian nation. And but there's so many faithless people. I mean, how many? Well, let me ask you this. Here's some evidence. How many Christians come to the college here on a weekly basis?
I have no idea. I don't have a statistic.
I mean, how many have you seen?
I see a lot of people wearing crosses.
I mean, but like somebody that does what we do, somebody that goes and witnesses to people. That's what Christians do, right?
I think I only see this guy.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, it's great that he comes in and does this, and I'm glad they invited me. But yeah, that's a telling thing to say, like, that's how many Christians care that people are lost and going to hell. And so,
there's like cameras and technology that we can like take a video of like one miracle and be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
like,
there's
why is it only people from 2,000 years ago that got to see it, and then that's it?
Well, yeah, and that's a good point and a good question too. But have you read much of the New Testament before?
No, I haven't read much of it.
Okay, well maybe I just give you a little short summary. But Jesus did so many miracles. And in fact, in the book of John, it talks about how if all the things that Jesus did and said were written down, and he's using hyperbole, said the whole world could not contain the books. So he did a lot of stuff. They only recorded some of the miracles. There were a lot of miracles. Did everyone believe those miracles? Did everyone believe in Jesus back then? No, only a few did. So do you think if somebody came like here and said Jesus is going to raise this, they brought a coffin with a dead person in it, and the coroner actually came and verified that the person was dead, and you can see, yeah, he's dead. He's been dead 2 months, and somebody raised him from the dead. Now he got up, sat up out of the coffin, and said, well, you know, I really want a mocha. You know, I'm just really thirsty. Can you get me a mocha? You know, and he's walking around. How many people, do you think everybody would just fall down on their knees and go, oh, Jesus, we praise you, and everyone became a Christian right now? Do you think that would happen?
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
You think so, huh?
I think people who saw it would do that, and then it depends, like, how it was recorded.
I think if there was genuine, like, if Jesus came down, or God came down and, like, talked to me, obviously I would believe, but I don't got no faith.
It's like seeing is believing.
Yeah. Well, you know what the Bible says about it? It says, blessed are those who have not seen yet believe. That's me. That's Andy. That's this other fellow.
If I can never be saved if I've never seen. There's some people that never see anything.
No, it's by faith. So we trust in Jesus by faith.
What about someone who lives in isolation that is outside of any
What if you've never heard of Christianity?
Yeah.
There's like that one island of people who we can't like go and talk to them because they're pretty violent, and they try to like throw spears at our helicopters.
Well, yeah, there actually is an island off of I think it's off of Sri Lanka, if I remember, or India, somewhere in the East Indian Ocean. But a guy, he went, a missionary guy went over there, and they told him not to go, but he went anyway, and the native killed him. They murdered him. Now, I don't know why they didn't. I didn't go over there and prosecute those people, but anyway. But yeah, but the Bible says that men love darkness. They hid from the light. So that's why everyone knows there's a God. Everyone even knows that the God of the Bible exists, but they hide away. They try to hide from God. They try to isolate themselves. Now, if you say, now let's go hypothetically, outside of the Bible, we'll say, okay, well, here's these people. Maybe there's 12 people on an island. They've never heard of Jesus, right? So if they've never heard of Jesus, then they wouldn't be guilty. They wouldn't have to go to hell because they never heard Jesus, right?
So
that's your
ignorance makes it fine to sin then?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that's your argument because they didn't know about Jesus, right?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what they would do.
So we send missionaries and we tell them about Jesus, and now they reject it and say, no, we're going to continue eating people. We're going to continue lying and stealing and lusting and committing idolatry. We're going to continue in our sin. We don't want Jesus. So now they're guilty. Now they're culpable. What did we do? See what I mean?
Yeah.
So we told them about Jesus. They were fine before, right? I mean, I'm just saying hypothetical. They were fine before because they didn't know about Jesus, didn't believe in God. Now we told them. We just did a bad thing. We should be out there with we should go out with a wall building, build a big wall so nobody could ever get to those people, tell them about Jesus, and then they'd reject him, and then they'd be bound for hell, right? That's kind of where the logic goes, right? So, but the Bible says something completely different. It says everyone knows that God exists. And it says the fool has said in his heart that there is no God. In the book of Romans, if you've read well, that's right, you said you haven't read the New Testament, but the book of Romans talks about the unbeliever, and it even talks about homosexuality, men and women, and how it's wicked, it's awful. But it also says that they're without excuse. So those are the two categories that God talks about when he references atheists, because God doesn't believe in atheists, right? So he says, one, they're fools. Two, they're without excuse. So those are not very complimentary things that the Bible says about atheists. But having said that, atheists can be saved from hell too, into God's kingdom, and many have too. So that's our hope, that there's some atheists here, quote unquote, that they'll come to Christ and be saved. And that's why we're here, like, yay!
I was just gonna ask why.
Yeah, that's exactly, and that's a good question. Why are we here? Yeah, and we have the signs, and yeah, some of the signs are a little pokey. Like I don't like that, and because people come up and you know what they do is they pick out their sin that they love. They'll say something like, I love God and I love porn, or I love fornication, or I just had 5 abortions and I love it, I'm going to kill a baby, or whatever. They're going to say, they pick out their sin and they rail on that, and that's why.